We do have a number of people that are joining us, and there are some that have mentioned that they're not able to join us this evening, so we are recording the session just so that other people will be able to view it. It will be posted on our website and our YouTube channel as well. So without further ado, I think we'll begin the evening. I know many of you are taking time out of your busy day to join us. And just a reminder that when we go through this PowerPoint, some people might have problems advancing the slide, so you might have to click on the slide depending on your device. So just if that happens, don't panic, just press on the slide and it will advance for you as well. Okay. So as I said, my name is Deanne Strong and I'm the principal here at St. John Catholic High School. And on behalf of Mr. Tony Quick, our vice principal, and our staff, I want to first extend a very warm welcome to you and to thank you, as I said, for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us virtually well, this is our second virtual session this year so far, but it's the second year we've actually had to continue to do a virtual open house. So in a normal year, we would have the opportunity to gather and tour you around our amazing building and to show you what our intermediate program is all about. However, due to COVID-19 restrictions, we will once again have to deliver this evening's presentations into your homes instead. So this evening will help to answer many of your questions that you may have about your son or daughter transitioning to St. John Catholic High School for grade 7 in the fall of 2022. Tonight, you will have the opportunity to hear from our outstanding staff and students on what our intermediate program is like, as well as the many supports and opportunities that are in place to help your child be successful and to have the best possible experience. We look forward to having your son or daughter joining our Spartan family. And if you have any questions, we will be happy to answer those at the end of this evening's presentation, or you can simply just call the school. Oftentimes we hang around near the very end as well, because if you don't have the opportunity to ask the question or would like to ask it in a private fashion, we will certainly be happy to address those. So thank you again for joining us this evening, and I hope you enjoy this evening's presentation. And I'll now turn it over to Madame Gauthier, who will continue with the evening.
Okay, so we'll start the evening off with a land acknowledgement. So we acknowledge that the Catholic District School Board of Eastern Ontario gathers today on the unceded traditional Algonquin territory of the Anishinaabe people. CDSBEO also acknowledges that we share the land of the Mohawk territory of the Haudenosaunee people. We respect both the land and the people of this land, including all Indigenous people who have walked in this place. Now I'm going to turn it over to two of our Spartans who joined us this year. They're grade 7s, Owen and Aiden. So I will turn that over to them.
Hello, everyone. My name is Owen Lance, and I went to St. Francis de Sales School.
And hello, I'm Aiden, and I also went to St. Francis de Sales School.
Please bow your head and join us in prayer. We offer to you, loving God, the gifts and needs of youth. Bless them with your guiding grace as they face the challenges and opportunities in their lives. Touch their hearts with the gentleness of your love, that they may know they are valued. Send your spirit of hope to their lives, that they believe in themselves and know that they are needed in this world. Grace them with the gift of joy, that they may celebrate life through laughter and tears alike. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Before we start, please note that some parts of our day look different due to this year's pandemic. We would like to start by showing you what a typical day looks like in grade 7. You'll notice that it probably looks pretty much like the timetable you have now. We start the morning with our first recess. When we get off the bus in the morning, the grade 7 and 8 students go to the 7-8 recess yard. When the bell rings, we go to our lockers. We begin our day with prayer and morning announcements. Our day is divided into 4 large blocks. We have snack breaks in the morning and in the afternoon. After second period, we go to recess out in the courtyard. When recess is over, we pick up our lunch and go to the cafeteria to eat. If we didn't have gym in the morning or French, we have them in the afternoon. If we are in immersion class, we split our day between French and English classes. At the end of the day, we have prayer. After prayer, we go to our lockers and we catch our bus. Don't worry about catching your bus. During the first day of school, there are lots of teachers around to help you find out which bus you're on.
Prayer life. Prayer life is a big part of St. John's. I would like at this point to introduce Mr. Forbes, our school chaplain.
Thanks, Aidan, and thank you to all of you for being out here tonight to learn a little bit more and hear a little bit more about our wonderful school. Here at St. John's, we're part of a long tradition in history that stretches back over 200 years, if you can believe it. We're older than Canada, been around for longer than Confederation. And like any school, we are a community where students grow in their knowledge, skills, and understanding, but we're also much more than that. We are a community of faith, rooted in the gospel values taught to us by Christ. Values that are the lens through which we view everything we do and everything we try to accomplish. From beginning each day with a time of reflection and prayer, to taking part in masses, liturgies, and reconciliation services, to the incredible contribution we make to our community through so many social justice and charitable activities. Those gospel values are woven through all we do here at St. John's. And perhaps most important of all is how we live out that core teaching of our faith, that we are all created in the image and likeness of God. That respect for the uniqueness and inherent dignity of each person is at the center of all the relationship building we do at St. John's, and is essential to creating a community of respect, compassion, acceptance, and inclusion. And that's something we're very proud of here at St. John's. So we're very excited to invite each of you to be part of that great educational and faith community and tradition, and to leave your mark on St. John's. So thanks for joining us tonight and listening to this presentation, and God bless each and every one of you. And I'll turn it back to, I'm not sure if it's going back to Aidan or Owen.
Thank you, Mr. Forbes. Lockers. Every student receives a locker. Your locker is usually right outside your classroom. If you get stuck opening your locker, all the teachers know your combination and can help. And usually the friend beside you can help as well. The Learning Commons. The Learning Commons is a hub for our school. Students can go to the Learning Commons to read or to do work with a friend. Last year, we opened the Learning Lab. It is a quiet working space. Miss Minima is our school librarian. The Nutrition Program. We have a nutrition program at St. John's. It is a grab and go. The school provides breakfast, lunch, and snacks. It sets up in the hall on the first floor with a fridge. You can grab your breakfast in the morning when you come in. We can't forget the cafeteria. Our 7-8 students grab lunch together each day in the cafeteria. Students can purchase food items from the cafeteria or bring their own lunch. The outdoor area. We have many spaces outside for students to use at recess. We also sometimes use the trails behind the school or go to Conlon Farm with our classes. This year, we added picnic tables to the yard so we can do classwork outside when the weather is nice. Computers. In every classroom, we have 7 or 8 computers for students to use throughout the day. Students who use assistive technology will also have a computer at St. John's. Office 365. Just like your school, we use Office 365 applications. We use OneNote, Teams, and Minecraft.
Throughout the year, we participate in a variety of cross-graded activities. So, if you have a friend that is in another class, you may end up with them in the same group as your friend. We have dress down days where for a donation to a charity, you can dress down for one day. We have a lot of clubs at St. John. The clubs are usually run during lunch hour or after school on the days that late buses run. This year, we ran clubs virtually. The Best Buddies Club is a great club. At Best Buddies, students in grades 7 and 8 partner with the students in high school to build friendships and participate in fun activities. Dungeons and Dragons is a club that started last year. You can see Madame Gauthier if you have any questions. The club runs one day a week at lunch hour. We have a very active social justice and student council group at St. John. If you are interested in taking on any leadership role in the school, these clubs are for you. We have a math tutoring club that runs twice a week in the library at lunchtime. We have amazing high school volunteers to help you with your math homework or any of the new math that you need help with. We also have the homework club that usually runs 2 days a week. It is a quiet place for you to go and catch up on any work you would like to finish.
Art Club. The Art Club meets every Friday in the art room. No experience necessary. Come and learn along with your friends. Minecraft Club. The Minecraft Club runs one lunch hour a week in the library. Everyone is welcome to join. Chess Club. Chess Club meets one lunch hour a week. If you're new to chess, try it out. There are lots of students that are willing to help you learn. Girls Learning Code. The Girls Learning Code Club is the first Monday of every month. All girls are welcome. No experience necessary. Sports teams. We have a variety of sports teams at school. Sports take place during lunch hour and after school. We have everything from cross country, volleyball, badminton, basketball, track and field, and 3-pitch. Badminton, soccer, and track and field. Music. Students in grades 7 and 8 have music 1 period a week during term 1 or 2. Band is also open to students who would like to be more involved in the music program. Mr. Doucette is the person to talk to. Art. Students in grades 7 and 8 have one 70-minute art class a week. It is scheduled for either term 1 or 2, depending on when you have music. Miss Burke is our art teacher. Leadership opportunities. There are many opportunities for student leadership at St. John's. In this picture, you can see members of the social justice group and student council selling cupcakes for a fundraiser. We also have students who are volunteering to host the elementary schools during Hour of Code. The Tech Ed Squad is another great leadership opportunity, or volunteering at High School Guatemala Yard Sale. We also have students who help with the nutrition program, and some students are involved with Kindergarten Buddies. And now Madame Gauthier will speak about the French program.
Thank you, Aiden and Owen, very much for that presentation. So I'm Madame Gauthier. I am the core French and French immersion teacher for the 7 and 8 division, and we do lots of fun French stuff. We learn a lot about French culture. You can see here we celebrated Franco-Ontarian Day. We listen to a lot of French music. We watch French videos in both classes, immersion and core French. This year in immersion, we're reading Harry Potter, so lots of fun activities with that in French. And we do a lot of fun stuff in geography and now science and history. So if we see you next year, then if you're taking core, I'll probably be your teacher, and immersion as well. So really looking forward to seeing you guys. And I think now we're moving on to special education with Mr. Turcott.
Awesome. Good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Turcott. I will be responsible, well, I am a special education resource teacher for the grade 7s this year. I am responsible for the transition meetings from your school right now till you come to St. John. One note I want to make is if you are from a public school, that you will have to reach out in order to get me to for that transition meeting. Okay, so if you're from a feeder school, there's no need for communication to be coming from your end. That's all done internally. Okay, but if you are from a public school, I will ask that you kind of reach out so that communication comes from you. So once you, sorry, I'm a little flustered. Once those transition meetings have concluded, usually happen in May and June, okay, then we can start creating kind of some sort of a plan. The last week of August, usually about a week before school starts, there is an opportunity for tours of the school. So this year I had an opportunity, especially with COVID, it was a little bit more of a challenge, but some of the grade 6 students that were coming in as grade 7 students this year, I was able to walk them around, help them, feel a little bit more comfortable with their space. And rather than when all of the students are in early or on the first day of school, kind of helps that transition, ease any anxiousness that may be around, and also just it improves the feel for all of the students. So that's something that can be set up. There is also a grade 8 special education resource teacher, okay? And myself and Miss McKenzie, we will also be responsible for the transition for grade 8 to grade 9. So once our relationships start to build and we get to know each other a little bit better, we will be your go-to people for anything in regards to your individual education plan or any resource or support you may need. That's it from me. I look forward to meeting all of you, hopefully, and I'm going to pass it off to Mrs. Warner.
Hi, everyone. I am Mrs. Warner, and I am a guidance counselor here at St. John. So myself and my fellow guidance counselor, Mrs. Quick, work with students for academic
I need to lie on my tummy. No, not now. They could.
I have to lie on my tummy. That part.
So I think we're a little bit stalled here.
Hi, Gabrielle. We were just kicked out of the meeting.
Oh, okay.
So we're at the school, and there's been internet issues today for sure. So we're all just coming back in here. So hopefully, if Mrs. Warner's not in a couple minutes, I'll get her in my office and she can take over.
Perfect.
I am back too. Sorry about that. No, this is COVID times, right? We see this happening everywhere we go. So I'm not sure when I cut out, but I was just starting to say that if you're wondering where you should go to register, if you go to our main webpage, if you scroll to the bottom to where it says news and announcements, that's kind of like our blog. And so you'll see an infographic that has open house on it. If you click on that, all of the links that you need to register are there. I'm going to put the link directly to that blog post in just a second. I had it all queued up and then it kicked me off the internet, so it deleted my link, but I will do that as soon as I finish talking. The important thing for you to know is that if you are coming to us from a CDSBO school, so St. John or Sacred Heart or St. Francis, then you would be giving us just a registration form. And then later on, once we've got all the registration forms, we will be reaching out for supporting documentation. You don't need to worry about that right now. Our guidance secretary, Mrs. Erin Truhas, will reach out to you about that. If you're coming to us from outside our school board, you actually have to register through the general CDSBO website. So there's two different ways you can get there. You could go right to the CDSBO website if you know how to get there. But if you're not sure how to get there, you can, again, go to the blog post that I'll link in a second, and we've got a link there. Or even right on our main page of the St. John Catholic High School, there is a circle that says registration. And if you click on that, that takes you to the general CDSBO website. So if you're coming to us from one of our CDSBO schools, you just need to fill out a form that we'll have the link for. If you're coming to us from a public school board school, then you'll need to register with CDSBO. Now, all of that said, if that seems really overwhelming, Erin and I this week did send out paper packages to our feeder schools. So those should be coming in the next week, and teachers will be distributing those. So if it's just easier for you to do paper and that's what you need to do, you can do that as well. We're here to make things as easy as possible for you. And of course, I am here. You can email me anytime, Sasha Warner, and I'm happy to help you out with whatever you need help with, any questions you have. Okay. So that's about all I have to say with that. I will mute myself and I'll put that link in the chat right now.
I think I'm up next, I believe, with regards to uniforms. My name is Mr. Quick, and I'm the vice principal here at St. John Catholic High School. As most of you may know, St. John is a uniform school, and students in our grades 7 to 12 wear uniforms on a daily basis. If you can see the slides, you can see that we have many different options for tops and bottoms, from pants, shorts, kilts, and long sleeve golf and short sleeve golf shirts, sweaters. So there's a lot of different options. And if you are looking for more information about pricing, sizing, or ordering information about the uniform, you can check the St. John website. In the section for parents, there's a link about the uniform and a link to the McCarthy website which is the company that we deal with. Also, on Fridays of each week, we will usually do a spirit wear day, where students can wear St. John's spirit wear that we sell throughout the year. Or sometimes students can wear uniforms, or spirit wear that is passed down from brothers and sisters from previous years. So that's perfectly acceptable as well. And then usually on one Friday a month, we have our dress down day, where students will make a donation to a local charity through our school cash online, and then they can wear their own choice of clothing as long as it is appropriate for school. So if you have any questions with regards to the uniform, don't hesitate to ask. Okay. And I think we're moving on to student well-being.
Hi, I'm going to turn my camera on really quick so that students can see what I look like, and then I'm going to shut it off because Wi-Fi issues. So, and anybody's here with an older brother or sister that's in 7 or 8 right now, they would probably recognize me much better if they saw me this way. But that's just what we have to do in order to get through the day so we can all spend the days together. So I'm shutting my camera off now. So my name's Bev Gemmel, and I'm the student support worker. So as a student support worker, I am around to support the students. So I would be around, let's say somebody's feeling really anxious about something, or they have some issues with some friends, or they're just not sure what to do. I would be your go-to person, and if I don't know the answer, and sometimes I don't, I will absolutely point you in the right direction. Sometimes we have students who have appointments with Open Doors, and they might have those at school. So we as a school like to facilitate when people come in to meet students, so students miss less time. We'll find you space for that. Sometimes I go in and I do classroom presentations. Usually at the start of the year, I like to talk a lot about anxiety. For instance, talking in front of a large group causes a lot of anxiety for students, me too. And I really thought talking online would cause me less anxiety, but it does not. So I'm talking very quickly. I do apologize. So if somebody was having an issue, I would be the person that they come to see. And if your student is having an issue, you can always call me, or you can always email me, and then we can connect and we can see what needs to happen. The other thing I just wanted to mention, some of our kids get quite worried about lockers. They do have a key on the back, and especially the first few weeks of school, which is a relief to some kids, we can unlock their locks for them, and that way they don't have to panic about getting out to the bus, because sometimes that happens. Sometimes kids get really nervous because they're outside and their uniform, they fall down and it gets muddy, or they have gym first period and they forgot to pack a piece of uniform. We can help with all those things that are going to seem like they're huge, but they're really not. We can deal with that, and we'll lend you something to wear. And I guess that's it. I'm just around. I'll be in the hallways a lot. You'll see me every day at lunch duty outside. And you guys can feel free to ask me anything that you need to. Thank you.
Okay, so as we've talked about, Bev has mentioned and Devin has mentioned, a big part of transitioning into a new school is actually getting to see the school. And it tends to make us feel much calmer when we know the space that we're going into. In past years, we always have students in, and we try and have them in a few times into St. John in the spring to get them familiar with the space, to get them meeting other kids from other feeder schools. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't do that right now. We're not allowed to have people outside of our high school and intermediate community into the school. So Mrs. Strong and I did the next best thing, the best thing we could think of, and that was we videotaped a tour of the school. So I followed Mrs. Strong around, and she talks about the different spaces so that students can at least get a glimpse at what it looks like. So if you'd like to see that, I have just put the link in the chat for the YouTube video. If you don't click on it right now and you can't remember where it is later, if you go to YouTube and you put in the search bar St. John Catholic High School Perth, our channel will come up, and I have pinned it to the top of our channel. So I put a big orangish yellow arrow there so you know what you're looking for. It's about 20 minutes long, and we've heard feedback that it does help ease that transition a bit for students. Now, that being said, we are really hoping that in August we will be able to have an orientation day and barbecue. That remains to be seen. Because of COVID, we've done it in the past, but we never know with COVID. We weren't allowed to do it this August. We're hoping next August we will. And if that is happening, we'll make sure you know about it, and your students will have an opportunity to see the inside of the school and actually live the inside of the school before the first day. Okay.
So thank you, everyone. At this time, we'd certainly be willing to answer any questions that you have in terms of the grade 7 program. You've heard a lot of information this evening. Sasha has also posted some of these links in the chat. You can certainly raise your hand at the top, or you can post it in the chat, and we would be happy to do that. So I see there are a few questions, and I'm going to try to turn it over here, and I might have to turn it to a few of the people on the team. But I think it's Lindsay. Is it Lindsay that's on? I think this is the first person here. I'm trying to see your name. Sasha, I'm not sure if you can see it.
I see Robin Burrell has a question.
Okay, sorry, Robin Burrell, sorry. Robin, your question?
We don't have a question, but I would just like to point out that, who was it again?
Mr. Quick.
Mr. Quick was my father's teacher.
That's great.
Thanks very much for letting me know that.
I've noticed that many of us on here probably taught some of your parents just from the people I'm seeing on here, but thank you. Jasmine McMillan. Oh, sorry, Mr. Quick, go ahead.
I was going to say, can I ask what your father's name is?
Thomas Burrell.
Thomas Burrell. I remember Thomas very well.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. Jasmine McMillan.
How much are the uniforms for Cash Online?
Very good question. We do use School Cash Online as another piece of information I'll give you as well. The uniforms vary, and I'll explain this to you. When you look at the uniform price, there's prices on there. You don't have to get everything on, and I would recommend that you don't. Both Mr. Quick and myself had 3 kids that went through here each. We both had all 3 of our kids went through here, and certainly we never bought everything on the uniform because it can get expensive and you grow. And I would particularly caution you buying them too early as well. You can also, there are a number of Facebook groups that also have I believe there's a St. John Uniform Facebook group where they will sell used clothing. Oftentimes our school council has had a used uniform sale, and we hope we have been certainly restricted in terms of what we can do because of COVID, but we hope to have that in the fall as well. You mentioned School Cash Online. I believe all schools in CDSBO are very familiar with this, and it's the same process. So anything like dress down days, or if there's sporting events, a tournament or something like that, all money is done through School Cash Online. And so that's there will be more information that comes out. If you're not familiar with it, we will certainly help you get set up with it. It is a really good tool that, and I know many of you have used it at St. Francis and St. John's Elementary, and are quite well aware of that. Hopefully that answers your question. Ava Grace.
Can we register later than February 18th?
You can. The reason we have a cutoff date of February 18th is that we have to have all of our numbers into the board office because they then look at staffing the school. So that's why we have a pretty firm deadline of February 18th. So just to make sure that you would have a spot here and that we would, you know, not have huge classes. Hopefully we have, you know, decent sized classes. All right, I'm just going to flip over here. I see there's just in the chat. Okay, Mael, can we visit with friends from other classes during lunch recess? Well, currently, right now, that's, you know, we are restricted because we do have cohorts right now, but we do mix our cohorts because they are masked outside when they do go outside, so so they're protected that way. But generally, yes, you do get to visit with your friends at lunch from other classes. That's certainly something that we want to have you do. Chloe, hi Chloe, I remember Chloe. Is there a certain type of shoe that you have to wear? No, there is not. We have not made that part of our dress code because we do recognize the expense of shoes. So generally our students will wear running shoes. You will be required, like in elementary school, to have some indoor shoes, especially when you're in a gym class. So that is something that's the same. But no, there's no, lots of students wear Blundstones, you know, but shoe is not, there's not a certain type you need to wear. Diane, is it Diane? When do you have to fill out the registration form? Well, we ask that you, I see Ms. Warner, now I'm reading below, thank you. It's February the 18th. If they are coming from St. John Elementary, do we still have to fill out the registration form? Yes, you do, because it is, you're coming to a different school. Even though you're a feeder school, it's the registration form. I think the shoe one we've answered. Hi Lola, how are you? Can we eat in the cafeteria? Good question. We are definitely hoping that our cafeteria will open. We're starting semester 2 next week, but we're hoping our cafeteria will open soon. But again, it has to do with restrictions because of COVID. But generally what happens for our grade 7 and 8 students, they go out for recess first. And then once their 30-minute recess is over, they come into the cafeteria and they eat for about 20 minutes in the cafeteria. They're able to get cafeteria food. There are no high school students. Mr. Quick and myself actually supervise their lunch in the cafeteria. We're there with them, but currently right now, because of restrictions, Lola, they have to eat in their classrooms right now, which isn't the greatest because we have to remain cohorted. So currently right now, that's what's happening. Quinn, where do we eat? Well, hopefully the cafeteria. And I see Isabel. Do we have to eat in the cafeteria? When we have the opportunity to be in there, yes, we do have to eat in the cafeteria. But right now, again, it is in classrooms right now. What are the bell times? Good question. We start at 8 a.m. and we finish at 2:10. So it is an early start that we have, but it is, and generally any sports activities take place after 2:10. So just so you're aware of that. I see that there's a hand up. I'm just going to switch back here.
Mrs. Strong, can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yep, sure.
I did want to point out for our sports teams, our intermediates get priority for the gym time. So when our bell goes at 2:10, they get first slot for gym time or practice times. So they tend to finish their practices around 3:30. Okay,
yep, that's good. Just in terms of, we do have late buses for our Smith Falls students. If they are staying after school, our buses generally leave at 2:10, but as Mrs. Warner said, if they are, staying for sports or some sort of extracurricular, there is a late bus that does go to Smith Falls as well, and Westport, Lanark also. I see Ella, you have your hand up. Do you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering, what would it be like if we went online?
Well, Ella, I'm sure you've probably done a little bit of that, right? And I don't foresee us going back online. I say that with my fingers crossed. We don't, we tend to do what we're doing here this evening with teams. Your teacher would be teaching and there would be information, but hopefully that won't happen. I'm praying that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to go over to the chat here, and I see Rachel, you've asked a question. Are grade 7 and 8s allowed to leave the campus? Very good question. No, they are not allowed to leave the campus. You don't have time to leave the campus, and you do need your, we don't really have, we're quite a ways away from anything, very different than being downtown Perth or downtown Smith Falls, and you wouldn't be able to get back in time, so no. But if your parents coming to pick you up, to take you for lunch, that happened today to one of our grade 7 or grade 8 students, they can come and get you and pick you up, but no, you can't leave. Tori, will you guys, hi Tori, and I remember you too, Rachel. Tori, we will send out a list of things in August. We always have an August mailing that we send information out to you. And Lola, you do not have to buy a lock, so you don't even need to worry about that. If we can get you into the building before school starts, we're definitely going to try. Hopefully we can do that. And we give you the opportunity to see your classroom, to meet your teacher, and you can get your lock. We let you take it home over that long Labor Day weekend to practice your combination. But as Mrs. Gemmell mentioned, don't ever worry. We have keys to get into your locker, so you never have to worry about that. Eli, can we make different clubs? Yes, very good question. You can make different clubs. There's lots of clubs, and if a student shows an interest for a club, generally they would approach one of their teachers, and then that teacher is your supervisor.
Sorry, I'd just like to jump in with the clubs there.
Sure.
So this year we had to switch back to online clubs, but we did do Fridays where we had club day, and we had student leaders for clubs. If they had an idea, they could approach us with their idea, and most of the time we'll say yes if they have a plan for it. So if you want to make your own club, if we're still doing that online one, then you can definitely let one of us know. And it's usually we'll usually say yes, and they're always awesome ideas.
Yeah, we've had many very interesting clubs. So there's lots of clubs here, and we actually ran clubs online as well. So that was great to do because it gave students a break from the regular routine. So just going through some of these questions here. These are great questions, folks. And I know that Mrs. Warner has been into your classes by teams. So that's kind of how we have to do it. Generally, we come into your building and we bring students with us, but this is the way we have to do it right now. And I know that she has given you sort of the nuts and bolts of what the day will look like and the registration and everything. So Duncan, do we have a gym uniform? Good question. No, in grade 7 and 8, you do not require a gym uniform, and it's not until grade 9 that you would need one. Duncan, I can't believe you're going into grade 6. Goodness. Do we have to fill in the registration form for the bus? No, great question. When you do your registration, that information then goes directly to STAO, and they will look after all the busing, and they will reach out to you when that happens. Closer to August, they'll let you know what time you're going to be picked up, and that's how that will work. All right, Isabel, what is the earliest time we can arrive at the school? The earliest time, buses generally drop off at 7:45 a.m. and that's the earliest time. That's when the school opens and when it's supervised. Prior to that, we ask that you abide by that rule at 7:45 because teachers are getting to their classrooms at 7:45, and that's when they're there. So. I think I answered the gym uniform. You don't need one in grade 7 and 8. Do we get to decorate our lockers? The inside of your lockers you do. Yeah, you can. Where are the bus stops in Smith Falls? That generally varies. Good question. The bus stops, there's one stop at Port Elmsley, there's a stop at the arena, a stop at the library, and then at Settlers Ridge as well. Those are generally where they're at. All right.
And to clarify, you're talking about our late bus when you say that.
Yes, right? Late buses. That's late buses, yes. What is the policy regarding nut products in the school? Again, it's, we encourage students not to bring nut products. It is a little different in high school. Generally, and we've had many students in our school that have allergies. We certainly let the class know if there is a student, to be mindful of that. Generally, all those tables in the cafeteria are wiped down. At lunchtime, if we know of a student who has I'm assuming it's a peanut allergy, then we make sure that that they have a table and they're sitting at that table, and those students are conscious of the fact that the person at that table does have a severe allergy. And if you have an EpiPen, we have a supply of, you would carry an EpiPen, I would imagine, but we can also store them in the main office area as well. Do we need to get new lockers every year? Yeah, generally you'll move classrooms every year, Lola. You'll find that you'll have probably 6 different lockers over the course of your time here. But yeah, that will happen. We would have to check on the late bus whether there would be a drop off. It depends on the bus company. So that's something that we sort out with them. It depends on, generally it hasn't dropped off in Balderson, but it's a possibility that it would, and it's something that we could look into for you. All right, am I missing any questions, Sasha, from hands being up? Because I'm just concentrating sort of on the chat here right now. Okay, so I see some questions here about late buses. Again, it is based upon the company that we're dealing with as to where they'll drop off. Generally, the late bus doesn't drop off at your house. It will drop off at a point, and you and your parents would have to get there. All right, when the cafeteria gets open back up, can we buy food from there? Yes, you sure can. We're all looking forward to that day. Carter, hi Carter, how are you? Do you have ice hockey? Generally, we do have a hockey tournament that we run, and that's something that we've done in grade 7 and 8 for sure. I figured you'd be wanting to play hockey, Carter. Grace, will the bus stop set within our walking distance from home? That is all determined by STAO. So they determine, and I think if you go onto their website, you can find that out as to the length of stops. You could put your address in and your school locator, and they would be able to tell you. And you can always reach out to STAO as well. They determine that. How much will the food be? I'm not sure how much the food will be in the cafeteria. It varies. It depends on what you get, but we haven't had the cafeteria open in 2 years, if you can believe it. So it'll be interesting to see how much the prices will be. Mael, what kind of food can you buy? There's lots of options, healthy options. Our cafeteria does have to follow a very strict health guideline set out by the Ministry of Education. So it depends. There's salads, there's wraps, there's paninis, there's fries, there's burgers, there's lasagna, there's different. It depends on the cafeteria people and what they will what's popular too is what they sell. Okay, we do have basketball tournaments when we're able to run them. We did have a couple of, it's been nice. We've had a little bit of sports this year, both for our 7 and 8 and for our high school. But again, we're on a pause right now and we're not able to do that. What should we wear for gym? I would wear a t-shirt and shorts and your running shoes that you would wear. And yes, there are vending machines in the building. They haven't been open in 2 years. They haven't been stocked. So hopefully come September, they will be. And yes, there are badminton and volleyball tournaments as well. All of the sports that you do currently right now continue to be offered at the high school. So like you have right now in, well, you haven't had them yourselves either. But if you remember back in the day, you would have a soccer practice and then there would be a tournament. It's the same style for, you know, as it has been in elementary. So you have a couple of practices, then you have a tournament with other teams from other schools. Yes, there is ice hockey for girls if they do, if there's enough interest. Sometimes it's co-ed. It depends on the on what people are able to offer during that year. Mael, during the winter, is there a skating rink? Well, we don't have Mr. B's famous skating rink. I'm trying to get him to come over here to build one for us, but I know that St. John Elementary has an amazing skating rink, but we hopefully, you know, there has been opportunity for our students to rent the ice. Many gym classes rents the ice. So, you know, that's an opportunity, and there's a rink now behind our fire hall as well, an outdoor rink. So that's probably something that we're going to take advantage of, and it's not very far from here. Hello, Mrs. Hodge. You have a question about, are they considering changing the boys' uniform pants to be more comfortable? We've heard that, well, I think a lot of kids, it's kind of 50-50. I haven't heard anything about the pants. Oh, hi, Luke. Haven't heard anything about the pants, but a lot of kids do tend to wear shorts. They're teenagers generally, so they do tend to. Many students do tend to wear shorts. Haven't seen very many wearing shorts this week, but there are still that will. But it depends, and they changed the different years. They changed the some of the style, or if they've changed a company that they deal with. If that's something that you've heard, or if you find that's the case, we can certainly put that forward to McCarthy as well, to let them know.
I can hop in on this one too. As the mom of a grade 7 boy, I can say it seems to have a lot more to do with like the style, like, than comfort level. Like, it seems to just be more popular and cool to wear shorts. And I can tell you, I bought my son uniform pants, being the prudent mother that I am, and he wore them for the first time this week. He's been wearing shorts in September, and that seems to be the prevailing winds in grade 7 boy culture. Yeah.
Hopefully that answers your question, Luke. Brett, no, unfortunately we don't have fishing. Yeah, I guess you'll have to do that on your free time. Can you customize the shirts or make them longer? I'm not sure what you're referring to. You can't customize the shirts. The only time we can customize the shirts is if our students are in a specialist high skills major program. And that's not something that you need to know about really until high school, but they do have shirts that they, oh, the skirts, okay. Skirts, you're saying. With the skirts, they have size ranges that you can certainly you know, buy them longer, or, you know, I guess bigger if whatever way, but they do have skirts in them. And I will caution you, the skirts or the shorts that are underneath the kilt, if a student were to cut those or alter the kilt, they are no longer allowed to wear the kilt. So just so you know, that is one of our uniform policies. We do certainly, the kilt is very popular for the girls, but again, that's another, you would have to check with McCarthy in terms of the length. Just take a few more questions here. I see Kim Deegan. Is there opportunity to be an altar server for Mass? Absolutely. I know Mr. Forbes would love altar servers for Mass. There's always opportunity for that, Lauren. That's great. Okay. For Jim, do you have to buy a St. John t-shirt? No, you do not. You can wear one from home. And yes, girls can wear the kilts. Are you allowed phones out in the hallway or during class? That's always a interesting issue. I'm going to give that over to Mr. Quick to answer because that tends to be an area that he likes to address. Mr. Quick?
Thank you, Ms. Strong. Hopefully you can hear me again. So basically, the process this year has been that students were allowed to use their phones during their 20-minute time at lunch. If a student needs to call home or speak to somebody at home, the student can always go to the office and they can use a phone there, but most students do not use their phones in class unless if the teacher decides that they need to be using it for some particular activity that they are doing. But we have a lot of computers, so usually if they're doing any research or anything like that, basically that's what they need to use for that. Okay.
Yeah, generally when you're in class, you are there with the teacher and you're using laptops or iPads, and we've got a gazillion of them, so we never run out. And but if you know we have to for educational purposes, you use your phone, then that's when you can be allowed to do that. Tessa, I see you have your hand up. Do you want to ask your question, Tessa? I guess it's down now. Okay. All right. Just we'll just take a couple more questions here, and we will stay on the line if you do wish to ask a question. Will we have a lot of homework? Generally, you'll have probably a little bit more each year. You have a little bit more with every grade that you're in, and I'll leave that for your teachers to let you know that. Will we get new school emails? Yes, you will. And I'm just looking at a couple of questions here. They keep coming up so fast here. So can we listen to music when you're doing work? Again, that will be up to your teacher to do that. Generally, as long as other people can't hear it and it helps you, most teachers I think are certainly willing to do that. If you're uncomfortable with the seating arrangement, are you able to ask for a change? You definitely can. And that would be a conversation that you might want to have with the teacher, or your parent might want to call, and certainly that can be arranged. Okay, thanks, Tessa. Okay. All right, I think that answers all of the questions that we have in the chat. Again, we will stay on for a little bit at the end of this presentation, but I do want to take the opportunity to thank my staff that are on here this evening, and our two students, Aiden and Owen, who did a great job in kind of walking you through what it's like to be a Spartan here. If you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out to us. Please reach out to us and we would be happy to answer. And as Sasha said, if filling out the registration online is not your thing, we totally get that. We'd be happy to mail you a paper package. You just need to call the school and give us your address. So hopefully we have answered your questions this evening, and as I said, we'll stay on. So have a great evening, folks, and thank you for attending our grade 6 to grade 7 orientation. Thank you. And I should say, if you do, you can unmute your mic if you do want to ask a question, and we, instead of putting it in the chat, because it might get lost in people saying goodbye here. So